Welcome to an episode of the Bourbon Experience, and we are going to do 3 bottles,
Trace,
that we will not purchase again.
right? Number 1, Blanton. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, really?
Come on.
Yeah.
You're always going to get that.
No, that's just for the algorithm.
Yeah, right. So we're going to do three bottles that we will not purchase for whatever reason. We'll talk about that. But 3 that we just, and we'll go back and forth. How's that? Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Sound good? Okay. So, first off, what are you sipping on? Well, let's talk about.
Right now, what I'm sipping on is Hamilton Dark from Glens Creek. My goodness, that's a wonderful whiskey that is just delightful. You can only get it in Kentucky, and I'm not sure how widely available it is in Kentucky.
Only at the distillery, I think. That one is. That's
really?
why I got that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, if you have a chance to stop by Glens Creek, pick a bottle of that up because it is so worth the money.
It's definitely worth the money. And I've got a classic Evan Williams bottle and bond. So this is just a nice little sipper. Good old bottle and bond. So I haven't had this actually. I ran out of a bottle about 3-4 months ago, and I just haven't bought it again. This is the first time I've had it in a while. So it's kind of nice, yeah. So,
well, speaking of which, Evan Williams bottled and bond,
and our father is going crazy right now watching this video.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot wrong with this stuff. There's just other bottled and bonds, 100 proofers, that I enjoy a lot more, and I know that this is a nice, great budget bourbon. But like with my 3, I didn't really take cost into account. It's just when I get through into the flavors, I got time for others.
Yeah, and I'm going to argue with you on this one only because of cost. So for me, the flavor for how much? I mean, what, 18?
$20, yeah.
$20.
Yeah, liter I think is 25.
And for me, that's, I'm going to spend the $20 on it and be happy with it. Now I just said I haven't bought it in like 3-4 months.
I know. Way to go.
Yeah, I know,
Stick
right?
up for your
Right.
argument.
But because there's other things that I'm really trying to, I'm broadening and trying to, but if I wanted to come back to something every single time, I'd get a bottle of it. Why not? So
sure. So well, and I wouldn't argue anybody out of buying a bottle of this because of the price point.
Yeah,
because there are enough flavors there that it does. It does, and it does serve as a very affordable mixer. So like if I were to buy a bottle of it again, that would be the purpose that I use for it. But the thing is I don't mix drinks. So for me, the purpose of it,
we're still working.
Limited.
We're dipping our toes into the old pool of the mixed drinks world. But
yes.
Okay. My first one. All right, so I'm going to go with Larceny, and I'm also going to put this with it. Is their barrel proof? I'm going to go with the whole Larceny line. I am just not a fan. This is dusty, thin, just not a whole lot of stuff that. Yep, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just not a whole.
I'm going to give it another chance.
Yeah,
you're welcome, Larceny.
That's Robert. So thank you, Robert. Even though I don't think he's really worried about it.
I'm also not pouring a whole lot.
Yeah. So this one was just really harsh. I was able to pull some cinnamons and stuff like that, but it just does not hit for me. The Larceny small batch is not expensive. The single barrel or the barrel proof is not that for a barrel proof.
$65-$70, I think.
Yeah, right around there. It's just for me, flavor wise. Nah, I'm out. Yeah. Flavor wise, it's just not for me.
You get a lot of that wheat kind of must.
Yeah, but compare that to like a Maker's Mark. Yeah. I'll take a Maker's Mark.
So like with the small batch. So when we start with that small batch, I get medicinal.
Totally.
There is just
totally.
There's something about that. It's really not a pleasant experience for me when I drink.
Yeah.
Now, when I had this, and this is the C923, which is pretty popular.
Yeah.
When I had this down in Kentucky, when Robert brought it with us, I felt like I was just drinking fire, and I couldn't get past that heat.
Yeah.
So now we're going to give it another go.
Let's see what we got. Yeah, because I just did a short on it a few days ago, and yeah.
Right. So like I get a lot of like a dusty peanut in there.
Yeah.
In the aroma. So the aroma's not bad, but it's not a gripping aroma. I'm not getting the caramels, the
not at all
from it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot less heat than I did the last time.
Okay.
I am still getting that heavy medicinal.
Totally. And it's very off-putting. It's extremely off-putting. And here's the funny thing is there's not many bourbons that we just, I mean, maybe more so me. I'm a little bit more, but we don't
like to trash stuff.
Right.
Unless it's Russell's 10.
Oh, stop. You're giving Alex way too much fodder.
I know, right? See a previous blind we did where we just eviscerated it.
Yeah.
And we just felt bad about it because we love Russell's 10.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway.
So, but this one, I don't have a problem with really trashing. I am just not a fan.
Okay, so I'm going to go in here for a second sip because, like, I get the flavor of it. I get that upper side of a Band-Aid on it. Mm-hmm. And there's just something else with it. Overall, it's pretty unpleasant.
Yeah?
There's not... I'm glad I'm not getting the heat this time because it allows me to evaluate the taste a little better. But there's still that Band-Aidy, medicinal cabinet kind of antiseptic thing that I can't get past.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, I won't. I'm not going to buy any Larceny. I'm just not going to waste my time.
No, if you're going to go with a barrel proof from Heaven Hill, then you go with Elijah Craig.
He's
100%
sitting back there, and I forget about it. Right. So there's no doubt. Okay. Well, so let's go. Well, we're kind of on the. That's the same distillery, by the way.
Yeah, and honestly, overall with Heaven Hill, I haven't been as taken with it as a lot of other people. It's not a bad distillery, but there's the Evan Williams line I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Larceny I'm obviously not a fan of.
Yeah.
Mellowcorn.
Isn't anybody going to help that poor man?
Oh my God. Well, okay. But this is gold.
100%.
This like
so Elijah.
If this was allocated,
yeah,
I'd be running for it.
Well, you got the Heaven Hill bottle and bond. You've got the Elijah Craig barrel proof, specifically that I would buy every day.
Which I buy a bottle. There's it's great.
There's not a lot else that I'm going for with Heaven Hill specifically. And that's not a dig on them necessarily, but it's just for my palate.
There's other things out there.
Right.
Okay, let's go with your number 2.
All right.
I think I just mentioned it, didn't I?
No. This one's going to be...
I didn't mention it. Okay.
This one might shake some trees out there.
This is going to piss people off, no doubt.
Well, there's special reserve.
I'm mad.
I know. He's just going to have to, grab some tissues and cry. And again, this in terms of Buffalo Trace, this one is one of the least impressive for me, especially on the allocated line. It's easily the least impressive. It's not a horrible thing in terms of weeders, which I'm typically not a fan of. I have no purpose for buying this one. I'll wait till I can get another bottle of 107 or a bottle of Weller 12.
I'm going to disagree even more so on this standpoint because I really like it. This is to me a daily drinker for me. I really, funny story is this bottle is one of the last ones I have. I went down to a store and they had a dump of it, and they said, well, how many do you want? And I said, well, how many will you let me buy? And she said, well, I'll give you 7. And I didn't have enough money for 7. Right. I said, I'll take 4. Why? I know. So I said, I'll take 4. And so I walked with 4, which is like people right now, you're probably like going, are you out of your mind? That's crazy. Okay, so my second one is not so much out of taste. It's because of price. Okay, so this one is Angel's Envy. This was for me actually. Even about a year ago, was one of my favorite bourbons. It's a finished bourbon, and to be very honest with you, I don't mind the flavor. I really enjoy it. The problem I have with Angel's Envy is, you're paying a lot of money for the product when it's not really that. It's not the bang for the buck is not there.
Right.
So
What's the proof on?
So this was a 40. This is a 43. So it's 86.
Yeah.
And then, so it's right around the realm of 90 proof, but this one was 40. I think 45.
Yeah, I think so.
When you get to their rye, it's like $95. You know, and then when you start to get to some of the specialty stuff, it's like 150 in that range.
$200. Yeah.
And I just think, you know, kind of want to say, hey, Angel's Envy, you know, come back down to earth a little bit. Like, I like your stuff, but let's get a little grounded first.
Yeah.
Get off your high horse, Richie.
Yeah,
know?
there's a bit of a hoity-toity mentality.
Yeah, and we went on their tour, and it was like that.
I
liked the tour, but it was like that.
Enjoyed the tour. Really liked the facilities. Really liked the process. Really enjoyed the tasting, even though the tasting was just this one in their rye. We just enjoyed it. But you know, at the same time, you know, when you get down to the price of the bottle, the price per proof of the bottle as well, because that in this case it does have an impact, because the flavor profile, while it's good, it's thin. And
it is.
And you notice that, I think, when you purchase a $45 bottle of bourbon, when there's not a huge mouthfeel for it.
So comparative, like even for $10, like if you put that to Cooper's 100, and Cooper's 100 is like $10 cheaper,
right?
And it's not even a contest, right?
Yeah.
This is a gift to me from friends, and so I've been kind of working on it, but I just don't know if I'll buy another bottle.
Yeah.
So okay, well, what's your third one?
All right. If you've watched
Shocker.
the channel, this will surprise you not at all, and it's anything aside from their BEP line.
Yes, that's fair.
So, anything Makers, I am not a fan. And Makers has been very close to winning some blinds with me. But when I do a direct pour into the glass where I know what goes into the glass, Makers bites hard.
Yeah.
And I just, there's a visceral reaction that I can't get enjoyment out of it for whatever reason. And it's unfortunate, because I like a lot of what they do in terms of their philosophy about how they go distilling, how they produce their stuff. You get into their BEP line, which you're starting about $75 for a bottle.
I want to try their cellar stuff. That I heard is absolutely.
I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way, and part of that gets hampered because of, you know, the 46, the 101, the cask strength versions out of all of them, you know, they still all just bite hard. And I don't know if that's just how they distill, or if it's the weeder aspect of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, because
in a blind it doesn't hit me. So there is an element that's probably a little bit psychosomatic with me, but at the same time
you're not going to go out and purchase it.
The only time, and this is purely for aesthetic, the only time I will buy a Maker's Mark in the future is if it's a Grand Slam where the wax goes all the way down to the base here.
Right.
And that's
which
a decorative
every time we go
item
shopping, we're looking for it.
I know,
right? So, and again, I'm going to argue with you. I'm not going to go and get I don't know if it's a Maker's Mark small batch, whatever they want to call their basis level. I probably will not get a 101 again, or but I'll probably get a 46 again, which I don't have that right now. I've already finished that off. Yeah, that's a 101.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't. Yeah. So the 46 or the 46 cast strength, those I will probably keep, but I don't. I'm kind of going in that realm with you over the past few. I had a sip of that one a couple of days ago. I'm like, yeah, I get it. There's other wonderful bourbons out there,
right? And I think that's kind of been my comparison with this is like, I've never taken value as a perspective in this for the most part. I won't say totally, but for the most part, when I look at the value of the flavor, and compared to how I take it in, I can get better stuff in each avenue of these. Regardless of that price point, that it makes me. If I have better stuff, I don't pick up this bottle. I mean, I've had this bottle for a long time, and And the same thing, I've had this bottle of Weller's for a year and a half almost.
Oh.
And, it just...
priorities. I think that's what we're getting down to is we're saying we're not going to buy these bottles, but it's also, I think maybe more so you is like, okay, I'm comparing with other things that I can go buy.
Right.
And for me, it's just like, right now, maybe not so much this one, but I'm not buying that. That was that bad. Okay, so let's get to my third one, and this one's a tough pill to swallow.
This one probably hurts. Are you doing okay?
I'm gonna just bear with me. This is a tough one.
We can cut here. He's going to go sit on the couch. We're going to do an evaluation.
I love this distillery, and the main reason for this, and I got to prep it. The main reason I have this one up here is it's mostly cost. I like the juice. It's not my favorite juice it is a bottled in bond. Mm-hmm. But I felt like I spent a lot of money for it. It was about a $90 bottle. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was expecting a lot more. It's Redwood Empire's. It's their Grizzly Beast. And I did a review on this one just recently. I do like the juice. Yeah. Here, have a sip.
I think I'm going to.
But I had a little bit last night because I wanted to make sure I was right for the. Oh yeah, rookie. Yeah, rookie. I had a little bit last night to kind of make sure that I wasn't wrong in what I was thinking, and the juice is good, but when I'm paying $85, I can go get some other bottled in bonds. And to be very honest with you, I can go, if I can find the pipe dream cast strength.
Oh, the one I have.
The one you have is 100 times better than this.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than that, if I recall correctly. I really like this distillery. I just didn't like how much I paid and the result that I got back from it. So what I try to do is I try to cover, cost, and just did not like it. So I try to kind of cover that.
Yeah. So this one has that fourth grain of the triticale.
It does. Yeah.
It's a unique kind of thing,
and it is. Yes.
And so I mean, if you're looking for uniqueness among your blends, then this is where you would have a disagreement.
Yeah.
Because this hits a unique aspect of things. I don't know that the triticale really.
Would you say that this is probably the best bourbon of the six? I would argue that. Say yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely has an argument in there.
Yeah,
that uniqueness really does put in there. I would be really interested to see what it would taste like without the triticale.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
And add that little bit extra in the rye or in the malt or whatever. I mean,
it's a good bourbon. It is not a bad bourbon. I just didn't feel like I was the money that I put into it was the result I was getting back from it. So. Okay, well, hey, listen. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. We just wanted to cover, a lot of people are doing this, but we just want to say, hey, this is the three that we would not go back out and buy.
Yeah, so what do you guys have on your list? If you've got 3 or 5 or whatever, I mean, put those in the comments because it would be really interesting to see what other people think. It would be very interesting to see what you all think if we're morons. I know that a lot of you probably think I'm a complete buffoon with my list of stuff. But then again, this guy put Larceny Barrel Proof on there. I dogged it too. So
right. I was gonna say whatever.
So come at me, bro. But that's fine. That's part of the community. That's part of everything. It's like we all have our different palates and our unique tastes, and that's to kind of gather together.
And we should be happy with that.
Absolutely, because you know what? We may not like the C923. That leaves more for the rest of y'all.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So you should be happy.
Not that we can get it.
Yeah. Hey, hope you're doing well. Thanks a lot.
It's for all bourbondom.
Catch you guys later. Thanks.
One second.